Hi, Rachel here from the NOIC Godcast, where we offer wacky wisdom weekly from God's Word. On today's episode, we will be looking at what life would look like if we boldly proclaimed God is with us. We'll be talking about wombats and sea donkeys. You definitely don't want to miss it. This month is a fun series to me. We know God is with us, and you can even ask the little Sunday school kids, and they'll be like, well, duh. And yet, we're all walking around like we're terrified or just defeated.
Why do the kids in our Sunday school have so much attitude?
They do.
Like that, I can hear
over
that.
half of them are my children. I know they have.
Like, duh.
That answers that.
We say God is with us, but we don't act like it. So what does it look like to live a life knowing God is with us?
Ooh.
In 1 Samuel, we find the Israelites going up against the Philistines. Yes, this is David and Goliath. Yes, you've been taught this many, many, many times. Sometimes we just get so used to hearing the Bible stories, we could miss out on a lesson that we need to learn from them.
Yeah.
So David was just a little boy. And so, do you know roughly how old he was? I looked it up, and it was
14,
very, all
isn't
over
it?
the board.
Yeah, I don't think they, the Bible didn't say.
No.
So
I
it's
think it was
just
they said
guess.
13, 14.
Yeah.
I've heard 13, 14. I heard early 20s.
Yeah.
By heard, I mean I read. So just imagine a barely teenage going up against this huge giant. Not just the huge giant, but also the whole Philistine army. He was just a little shepherd boy, but he did have a little experience in defeating enemies larger than himself. I don't know about you, but killing a lion or a bear, that sounds terrifying.
Oh my.
Yeah, oh my.
But imagine if I was just a few years younger than I am now.
A few?
A lot.
A few? Are we talking about 13? Because that's a long one.
Just a few years younger. That's terrifying. Can you imagine being listen, I was afraid to go up the dark stairs. Let alone a bear or a lion.
Listen, yeah, I get it.
If you haven't read it lately, I encourage you to go read it. I read it this week, the whole story of David and Goliath, and it's a good story just to go and read and have a refresher. But we're just going to read a couple of verses in 1 Samuel 17, 45 through 46. Then said David to the Philistines, "Thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will the Lord deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee and take thine head from thee, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air and the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel."
That is a good save.
Take a thing head.
Yeah.
That is a good save. Because
I
I was I'm pretty sure that's not what that should say.
Thinghead.
David didn't run out there and be like, "Oh man, I really hope God comes through this time."
Yeah.
He ran out there and declared exactly what God was going to do because he knew God was with him. He didn't just hope God would deliver him. He had confidence that God was with him. He knew that God is the one that delivered him from the bear and the lion, and this would be no different. He didn't hide behind the Israelites praying God would give them the strength to defeat the Philistines. David went out boldly proclaiming what God was about to do, and he staked his life on it.
Well, and that's the thing is he was so small that the armor didn't even fit him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you think about he just went and, you have all these people that are trained in they have an actual army there, so they're trained in battle. They're trained for these things, and all of them are too afraid to do it. The people that are trained for it, and he's like, I reckon God could do that.
Well, and you think of what I'm thinking of
really say reckon?
I mean, maybe he's a farmer boy.
But I'm thinking of all the people back in the army, right? And they're watching David, and they're like, "Lord be with them."
Yeah.
I think that's probably more of what we can relate to. Oh, Lord be with them. We see someone doing something for God that's impossible, that's difficult, and instead of joining them or standing up for God, we're like, "Oh, Lord be with them."
Well, think about, Kaysen's a little bit younger, but imagine if there was an actual something going on here, like a fight broke out in our parking lot or whatever, and all of our men are like, we don't want to go handle that, and Kaysen's like, I got this. You know what I mean? That's the same thing that's happening here.
Yeah.
But also, I think that part of this comes from you should have childlike faith. You know what I mean? Because like you said, going up against a bear or a lion, as a 13-year-old, my perspective may have been different about facing a bear or a lion.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I know more about bears and lions, so I'm more afraid. Not that I was totally
think
ignorant at
about it.
13.
Well, like I
but-
think, so Nathan likes to say,
think
like
that
it didn't
was-
start with the
right,
bear or lion. Like
Yeah.
Bible doesn't tell us, but like it probably started with a squirrel or chipmunk,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
he grew up to rabbits, and then
Yes.
he went from rabbits to goats.
Yes.
Right.
Fearful
right.
goats, terrifying creatures.
Terrified as sheep.
And then
Sheep can be dangerous.
mountain goats. Like I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
And then he went from them to whatever comes between that and a lion or bear. Like there's gonna be an animal between there somewhere.
Wombat.
Wolf would be a fox,
well,
and then a
nah.
wolf, a
Yeah,
wombat.
fox.
I don't know. Just threw a name out there.
You know what? The Bible didn't talk about David and the wombat. Didn't mention it. Never once. Never
It's
once.
the new one.
It's in the but the point was that David had confidence that God was with him against Goliath
Yes.
because David saw the faithfulness of God being with him with the bear
Yep.
and with the lion. And the gerbil and the wombat and whatever else he faced, he saw that God was with him and
even know
faithful
how
through
big
those.
the wombat
And again, like the same applies to our lives. Like, why can we have confidence that God is with us now in our current
Yeah.
situation? Well, we look back at the lions and the bears of our lives. Quote, quote, quote. Like, obviously, we probably haven't faced real lions and bears.
I have seen one bear.
But
I have seen them, but
we
they
have
weren't
faced
facing me.
difficult things in life that are like a lion or
Yes.
bear or wombat that have been stepping stones to prove God's faithfulness.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason we can move forward with confidence is because we can look backwards in faith. And I think we talked about that last week, or we will talk. Yeah, we talked about that
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. we know.
That's
We know what we're
been
talking about.
Time.
Time is just a construct.
Of our imagination.
But can you imagine what it would be like to boldly live our lives proclaiming God is with us? I know in my life it's more like, well, if you can or you have the time,
Yeah.
if it's your will, it would be like super great if you could
Yeah.
do this. No, David ran out with his life on the line and told them, with a matter of fact, God will do this because he is with me.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but that just does something to me. Just to think of like I think when I pray, I do, you have the caveat, like, if it's your will.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But like he went out and said, not just am I going to defeat you, but this is exactly how it's going to happen. And I'm going to do this. And
Yeah.
like, it happened.
Well, and another place that we see that's really evident is the three Hebrew children, because they tell the king, you know, our God goes before us, but if not,
Yeah.
like we die or we don't, either way,
Yeah.
we're not bound down. And it's that same confidence, like we see that a lot in the Bible. I mean, Abraham and Isaac, like he draws the knife to strike him. And so like, why are all these people willing to act in faith? Why are they willing to do audacious, crazy things? Well, it's because they know that God is with them in this in this circumstance. And whether he takes them home to glory or whether he keeps them here for a while, like God is with them, and that changes their faith, but it changes the way they act or
Yeah.
live.
Yep.
And it should for us too.
Yes.
It should change us. Like it should change everything about our lives. I was writing this and I'm just like you can see by the Christians you're around that this isn't what we're thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're not living this bold, God is with us life.
I think when we say God is with us, we look at more from a like defensive standpoint.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is
Like,
offense.
Yeah, like
that's a great point.
Like God is with me, so He's gonna defend me against
Right.
whatever
Yes.
the world hurls at me. But like you said, this is David like taking the offense, and a lot of times Christians, we've been conditioned that we never take the offense. You know what I mean? Like we just play defense
Yep.
all the time, and then when it's almost like a sporting game. Like if I don't let you score, you know what I mean? Like I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? But this here, like David is like literally taking his faith and confidence in God, and we've been told like it's rude to push your Christianity on others. Like they have a right. You see what I'm saying? Like so, the world has kind of conditioned us to like stay defensive because the minute you become offensive with God, people are gonna not like you
Yeah.
or. You know what I mean? And that really shouldn't stop us. That should encourage us even more.
Yeah. It's funny to me because when life is hard, when we face difficulties in this life, like it could be losing a job or getting a bad grade or family being mad at you. And these things are hard and they seem like giants in themselves when you're going through them. David faced an actual giant. Literal death was
Yeah.
on the line. And yet simply we have a bad day and we let it win.
Yeah.
We have God with us. We need to go out and boldly proclaim it. I guarantee if you look back at your life, you can see the moments he was with you. It's a lot easier once you've gone through them. I want to live it now, remembering what he's brought me through and remember that just like slaying the lion and killing the bear and know that I can, in that moment now, I can still have, what?
What are you trying to tell me?
I tried to pull it out. I couldn't. Thing head. I want you to live it now. Remember what he's brought you through. Remember what it was like slaying that lion and killing the bear, and know that what you had in that moment, you still have right now. Go out with confidence and boldly to whatever you may face, because Emmanuel, God is with you.
Very good.
Very good stuff. I like the story. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good.
It was from him.
What?
I got it from a good book.
I got it from the good book.
We know the author. So.
Yeah. So today's considerable quote is, "Faith is living daring confidence in God's grace, so sure and certain that the believer would stake his life on it 1,000 times," from Martin Luther. And this is the song that just kept playing in my head when I was writing this. It's kind of obvious why. But Confidence by Sanctus Real.
Is that the...
Give me faith like
Yeah.
David.
No. Faith like
Daniel and the Lion's
yeah.
Den.
Oh, Daniel. No,
There's a David one.
Yeah,
there's a Noah one too.
yeah. This was playing at the processing center, and Daniel's first.
Daniel and the Lion said Moses in the...
Yeah, it's a good song.
It's a
Go
good
check
song.
it
Go listen to it. Usually
We
it's
know
good-
it really well.
One of my favorites.
Apparently.
So last week's trivia.
I don't remember what
That's
letter.
not last week's trivia. That's 2 weeks ago. Last week's trivia is
No.
how the
Oh, is that what you
distance
used?
between.
Because that was what I was using. I don't think that's what you used.
Nah.
That was how many times that's what I used.
What did I use? I didn't use that.
I don't
thought I
think
used
so.
that. No, I didn't.
So I don't
I
think you
used
did.
who's the word Emmanuel
Yeah,
set
yeah.
to first. No.
I don't remember Jamie's
how
one.
I don't
far
remember what...
was-
Oh, how far was
Yeah,
it?
I know what it
Did
is.
they
I just don't know what
travel?
letter it
Oh,
was.
I
It
see.
was 90 miles.
Okay.
What was 90 miles?
How far?
How far?
Okay. Because that wasn't said.
Australia.
How far did Mary and Joseph travel to get to Bethlehem?
Okay.
They said
90
about 90 miles.
About 90 miles.
That's a long way.
On
Donkey.
C.
donkey.
C.
No,
C.
they went by land.
Oh, you didn't take your
You don't take a donkey?
You're a rare sea donkey.
There's seahorses. Yeah, there's seahorses. Why can't there be seahorses?
There's really not.
There are seahorses. That's a real thing. I really love that we both were like this.
Can't you see it?
Is that a pun?
This makes me believe you.
So this week's trivia. How many times is Emmanuel used in the Bible? A, 73, B, 107, C, 54, or D, 28? We're going to say happy birthday to Lucas Hines, Heaven Stover, Melinda Ambergy, Stacy Wolf,
Yeah, it's Wolof.
and Gabriel Jones. Happy birthday.
Birthday to you.
And we have mail.
Mail call.
No tears. You didn't say who.
Well, we were supposed to make that
it's
noise.
like- it does
Yeah,
this.
We were
it's-
supposed to make a noise. What's the
Oh,
noise?
if they.
I thought the noise was if they don't.
No,
and
it's
the
if
noise
they
is
do.
What is the noise? That's. I wouldn't write it if I was.
That definitely gets the people right.
That's
I was waiting for the Blues
good.
Clues song.
Oh.
We just
got a letter.
We just got. Do you know how old we sound
we
right
just
now?
got a letter.
It's still out.
I wonder who it's from. Yeah, but they don't. It's on a phone now. It's not Notepad.
Oh my goodness.
It's like a tablet or
That was
something.
like a
We're
stab
old.
to the heart.
We're old. See, 13 was a long time ago.
Wasn't that long ago. So in the mailroom, we got a
letter.
Text.
text.
We got a
No,
text.
sorry, I didn't think it was
message.
mail. It says, "Hey Josh,
And crew. He just
Daniel
has my
Webster,
number.
Daniel Webster over here at Welsh. Just want to commend you on a job well done with the NOIC podcast. Listening now, great content and great production quality. Keep it up."
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thanks so much
We
for
appreciate
listening.
it.
No tears this week.
No
That was
tears.
that's
Thank
good.
you.
That's a
And
good week.
so-
Just terrifying ghost sounds.
You too can prevent tears next week.
You two can hear
You
terrifying
too
ghost
can
sounds.
haunt the Godcast.
Only you can prevent our tears.
Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and all the other things that there is to do.
So next week
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's
is
next week.
the grand finale of 2023.
CJ loves
CJ.
that.
We will be doing a year-end review episode where we just talk about everything that's happened through the NOIC Godcast. We won't go through every episode.
We're
but
gonna
we'll talk
recap
about it.
every episode.
Some of our favorite moments, favorite series, favorite lessons, and also that will not air on our typical Monday.
Yeah.
So Missy, you don't have to text me. That will come out on Tuesday, the day after Christmas, December 26th.
We just didn't want
So-
everybody to have to.
Yeah, no one's
watch it
gonna
on
want to
Christmas.
watch us on
Keeping
Christmas.
you on
We
your
don't want to ruin
toes.
your Christmas.
You would watch it on Tuesday anyway.
Yeah. So look for that next week. Hope you join us.
Right?
Yeah. Well, with that, we'll see you then.
Bye, guys. My lower lip twitched for 4 days this week.
Oh my goodness.
And it wasn't like it wasn't like a
like a
quiver.
stretch
It was
thing.
like it felt like a BB in my lip that was bouncing back and forth
Ew.
for 4 days.
I want to know why you
Yes.
know what a BB feels like inside your lip.
Well, like I just felt like a little ball.
Oh.
And that's
So maybe
So I had an eye twitch right here for the last day of OCC working. And like all the people are gonna think that I'm just like. So like, where are you guys from?
well. So yesterday I moved to my eye, and now this eyelid is twitching. My lips not.
So maybe you actually have a BB stem.
It's a stroke working to
Just
my
moving.
brainstem, is what I'm assuming.
Moving around.
You're so slow that your strokes take a while to get there.
Loading.